There's Garrett out there tilling up, getting ready, getting the soil ready for some major farming. This is going to be the market garden, so we'll have a fruit stand this year, or a produce stand, out front of our farm, and we may sell at the farmer's market too. I'm undecided at this point. So he's tilling this all up right now, and this will be full of rows, and they'll be bedded up as well, so they'll be like raised beds. They just won't be framed out with wood. And he's going to till it now, and he'll till it again in a couple weeks, and he'll till it a few times before March, but by the end of February, or actually possibly this month, we'll have the beds done, and we'll do a video on how you can make the beds. But he's going to till it a few times because there's tons of grass, and this grass was planted here for horses, so it's pretty vigorous, and it's kind of like wire grass. It's really annoying, so that's why we're tilling it up, because we want to kill that grass. Right, Duke? Duke? What are you looking at? It's just hanging out. I also picked up these blue potatoes. I grow these every year, and I really just love these potatoes. I wouldn't say that they're as prolific as like your russet potatoes, but they're pretty good. They do pretty well. If you go on my Instagram feed, you'll see some old pictures of the potatoes I harvested this year. Actually, I'll insert that photo in this video if I can find it. But yeah, these are really cool potatoes. I love growing things that are red and purple and not your usual color, because red vegetables tend to have more antioxidants in them. They're more kind of they have anti-aging properties, and they also have a lot of cancer-fighting properties. But purple vegetables have tons of cancer-fighting properties in them, more so than any of the green or red varieties. So I tend to grow a lot of purple stuff. Like last year I grew purple broccoli, I'm growing purple kale right now, purple peas, purple peppers, purple tomatillos, purple everything. So yeah, so we're going to grow these again this year, and we're going to be planting, we're going to mass plant these in a row, so we'll probably plant about 100 potato plants this year. Guys, just showing a few of the things that I've seed started. Last week sometime, not quite a week ago. This is red kale in this one. And these are like different flowers, foxgloves, stuff like that. This is romaine lettuce. And over here we have endive and buttercrunch lettuce. So I've just taken them out of my little greenhouse shelf to get some full sun for the day. It was really cold last night, but didn't seem to phase any of this stuff. Morning. It's pretty. The irises that I got from my father-in-law are doing really, really well. And we've got a ton of onions and irises planted all over the property. I plant onions everywhere because I figure you can never have enough and they're so cheap to buy. Out there, there's gonna be several rows of stuff. Right now we're planting potatoes.
I'm gonna do a front flip. I'm gonna try a front flip.
Front flip.
Ready?
Gotta be careful.
That was a loud slam.
That's literally what it went like.
Marjorie. You bad boy. You bad boy.
Are you happy with yourself right now, Holly? Are you happy?
Thought I'd give you guys an update on the garden. This is pretty much what it's looked like all winter long because all of the plants that are in here are winter hardy plants. So I have had some green through the winter, which has gotten me through, like the garlic. This is a scabiosa, which is right about to bloom, and tons of garlic. This is red Russian kale mixed in with the garlic. Kale, any brassica does really well companion planted with garlic. So, and then some pansies. This huge mess is the Sweet William that I planted last year. And over here you can see there's some more garlic, and then all of these green sprouts are poppies. Every single poppy seed that I planted came up. This is that verbena. It's got a bunch of new growth on the bottom there. Some more pansies down here, a ton of radishes in here, and then these haven't come back quite just yet. They are the oh my gosh, I forgot what they're called. Turk's cap, that's what it is. And then we've got some Dutch irises right here. These are the violas that I planted in a previous video that the rabbits had completely eaten down. You could see that they are unfazed by that mention. And these self-seed, and I've already seen some seed pods open up and reseed themselves. And then I've got a few other things coming up there. Some more Dutch irises. So yeah, and there's a ton of stuff. It looks really bare right now, but there's a ton of perennial stuff still buried in the ground that you can't really see. Like right here and right here are some Texas tarragon, and there's like some alliums in there also. Over here are the ranunculus. They are so prolific and beautiful. And we just had a torrential downpour for 3 days straight. So I'm really surprised that these even held up to that, but they didn't seem to mind it at all, really. A bunch more garlic and some more radishes in here. I filled my beds up with radishes through the winter so I could feed the chickens fresh greens. And then over here are the walking onions. They're doing really well. All of them came up and survived. Some rosemary there that I just pruned back, and then some random garlic that I put in there in an onion, and then some more of that dianthus, a different variety of dianthus. So over here, this bed is just filled with some scrap plants like rosemary, some mint, and some more garlic. And then this was just a little compost bin that I was filling stuff up that I thought was dead, like some onion bulbs that didn't look too great. And they all came up. Look at this. So, oh well. And then over here, there's some strawberry crowns from last year that are poking up. I need to dig them up and plant them somewhere else. And in here, this is where I used to have that big, huge basil plant. The Vietnamese cilantro is still alive. That should come back. It's a perennial. This is some Italian oregano that I just pruned heavily yesterday, and some more garlic that had self-seeded from last year's garlic that I had planted there. And then in this bed, I have some romaine lettuce planted closely together because I like my romaine lettuce heads to be a little bit small, although this spacing is fine to grow really big heads. And then again, there's a bunch of garlic in here. Sorry for the mess over here, you guys. We've been doing a lot of stuff lately. That is a radish bed that I've been harvesting from often for the chickens. And then over here is more garlic and more mint that I'm experimenting with because I want to see if this will keep the weeds out and the garlic will still perform well for me. So you can see it's kind of crowding the garlic, but so far the garlic hasn't seemed to be fazed by it. So I'm really curious to see if I can get some nice big garlics out of that with the mint in there, because I hate weeds. But this is all chocolate mint that you see in here, all this green. And there's some Sweet William, and then there's my artichoke plant. I just cut a leaf off yesterday because I think one of my cats stomped in here and broke it. But it's doing really, really well. It's loving this weather right now, so yeah. And then over here, I've got a bunch of garlic that I just stuck into the ground last year. So these are volunteers from last year's harvest. Out here, we've got a few beds started. This bed here has Brussels sprouts already in it. We're going to plant cabbage in here. I'm not sure what we're going to do in this row here, but in this row we've got purple peas, or I'm sorry, blue shelling peas in this row, and I did check on them and they have sprouted and they should come up soon. The bed was kind of mangled and destroyed the night before Duke passed away, so I had to go in and fix it. So it looks a little choppy, but yeah, Duke had walked through it, so his footprints were left in the garden, and I ended up taking some concrete molds of his footprints for his little grave site that we did.
Like a little rat or something weird.
Hi, buddy.
All the purples.
Dad, does that look very realistic?
You
Because
can
my
probably
buddy's
get close to
hiding.
like this edge right here, Brooke.
So how we're planting this is kind of a raised bed already, and we've just dug wells all the way down, and we're going to plant them and cover them a little bit, and then as they grow we'll continue to mound them this way. So we'll backfill the little trenches that we dug, and that'll be how we mound them. So they're planting purple potatoes right now.